Hey everybody, it's Russ Ruffino with Clients on Demand, and today we're going to talk about 3 things that separate millionaire coaches from everyone else. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Russ Ruffino with Clients on Demand. Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to be talking about 3 things that separate millionaire coaches from everyone else, besides, just having $1 million. So today I'm joined by Mark Von Muser, who is our Director of Sales at Clients on Demand. Mark, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm blessed and grateful, man. I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a fun topic.
Yeah, this is an important one because here's the thing, guys. If you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you guys are seeing the same social media posts that I'm seeing. It looks like there's so many coaches out there that are like millionaires that are just balling. You see people in Lamborghinis, you see people in private jets, you see people in these giant mansions. But here's the thing you need to know. A lot of those people, in fact, I'd say most of those people are absolutely 100% faking it. Guaranteed. There are very, very few coaches that are actually doing over $1 million a year. And there's like maybe a handful of coaches that are doing over $1 million a month like we are. So what's cool is that a lot of those coaches that are doing $1 million a year or multiple millions a year are actually our clients. And none of them were at that level when they came to us. They came to us when they were just starting out. We were able to build them up to that level. So what's cool is that we have a really, really solid understanding of what you need to do to actually build your business up to that level. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
The thing I love about this, Russ, is that another way to think about $1 million. And again, there's a lot of pushback in a lot of the coaching circles about, oh, it's not about the money. Yet when they go out of business, they go broke and they have to go take a full-time job. How much impact are they really having when they have to abandon their dream? And we look at the money aspect as a direct reflection of how many people you're helping. How many people are you liberating who are suffering with your skill set? And so for me, $1 million coach, which I love to talk about, is because it means they're helping a ton of people, which is, that's why we do it. So I love this conversation. It's going to be an important topic as well, because too many people are trying to find virtue in poverty and virtue in not being successful, as if that's better than people that are making money serving people.
Well, it's just a defense mechanism, I think, because when you see somebody that's doing better than you, and none of us are immune to this. Like I've totally done this. So I'm not up on my high horse. Okay. But when you see someone that's doing better than you, you can basically respond one of 2 ways, right? You can either let that inspire you and say, oh man, Dave is making $1 million a year. That's crazy. If he can do it, I can do it. Good for him, man. I'm coming for you. And you can kind of let it inspire you, or you can retreat into this little cave of bitterness where you go, oh, well, Dave's making $1 million. He must be scamming people. He must be doing a terrible job, or he must be doing something wrong. If he's making that much money, I guarantee you, he's got some dirt under his fingernails. And really, it's just a way to protect yourself from feeling better. And I know, because in the times in my past when I've done that, that's all I was trying to do. I saw somebody and this person was doing great. I couldn't find anything wrong with what they were doing. And they seemed like a great person. They seemed like they were really making a difference. They seemed like they were crushing it. And that really like stuck in my craw, and it made me bitter. And it's really easy to go into that mode, but it paralyzes you because you're not going to get anywhere. If you're filled with jealousy and you're filled with resentment, you're just not going to get anywhere. No one's going to want to do business with you. Nobody's going to want to work with you. It repels money and it repels clients. It repels people. So if you're in that place, you have to let that go. And instead of allowing yourself to retreat into this sort of cave of bitterness, allow the success of people who are doing better than you to inspire you and show you what's possible. Because I can guarantee you, all of these people that I know that are doing over $1 million a year as a coach, and maybe multiple millions, they're smart, but they're not that smart. They work hard, but they don't work that hard. It's like there's no reason why, in my opinion, you can't have that same level of success if you're willing to do what they did and follow the strategies they did and work as hard as they did.
Russ, I love this, what you just said. I hope people really heard it, because that's true. We all have a tendency to do that. I saw it in the sales as well. I'd start enrolling and selling like crazy. And then other people would always look for an excuse about why they, oh, you must be lying. But they listen to me all the time and never heard me lie. Oh, well, he must be getting spoon-fed leads. Well, no, I was actually getting the do not calls and the other things like that. And it always amazed me that rather than people reach out and say, hey, how are you doing it? And like you said, get inspired by it. Most people will defer to the other one, where they're trying to write a story, which in reality is a defense mechanism to keep them stuck. But it really cracks me up too when we're going to talk about it today. Every now and then, and that's what I love what we do, is that you'll get people that when they do it the right way, there's a new problem that pops up, which is the good kind of problem I want you guys to have. We had a client come through and she goes, yeah, everybody enrolls now. It's almost like it's not even a challenge anymore. And I started laughing because I remember where she started, where she couldn't give it away. And now it's everybody buys. What a big paradigm shift.
Guys, you have to understand that unless you're doing something illegal, money is just a measure of the value that you're creating in the world. You understand? Money is a measure of the value that you're creating in the world. It's just a way of keeping score. There's nothing magical or mystical about it. That's all it is. So you look at a guy like Elon Musk, who I think is the richest man in the world right now. Everybody that I know that has a Tesla loves it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a car where it's got a setting called ludicrous speed, Mark. I don't know if you've heard this, like in Spaceballs, when they go to ludicrous speed, there's a setting in the car where the car goes really fast and they called it ludicrous speed. And then I heard in one of the more recent updates in Spaceballs, they go to ludicrous speed and then they go to plaid, where like everything turns plaid. They've actually got a setting now on the Tesla above ludicrous speed where you can go to plaid. I mean, it's just an unbelievable thing. So it's like, think about how much value this guy is creating in the world. He's creating so much value for so many people. Teslas aren't for everybody, but people that I know that have them absolutely love them. And so of course, he deserves that level of success. Doesn't mean he's perfect. I understand people have problems with this, problems with that. But my point is if you look at what is driving the economic engine of his life, he is doing this much good for this many people and multiplying that together. And now you get the income that he's bringing in. So it's just like if you're doing a coaching business, if you've got a high ticket coaching business, and let's say you've got a workshop or something for sale that's $5,000. If you've got a $5,000 workshop, and you enroll 10 clients a month, now you're making $50,000 a month. If you enroll 20 clients a month, you're making $100,000 a month. And that puts you at that $1.2 million a year mark, which that's pretty good. So let's take a quick look though at the actual numbers. What do the actual stats say? Despite what you see on Instagram, despite what you see on Facebook, despite all these pictures of people like balling in these cool mansions and, taking pictures of these Lamborghinis that they rented like for the day, despite all that stuff, what's the actual numbers look like? Well, here's the sad truth, guys. 76% of coaches, so 76% of coaches are making less than $5,000 a month. 76% of coaches are making less than $5,000 a month. That means that 76% of coaches are not making a full-time income. I mean, a full-time income basically is $4,000 or $5,000 a month, probably, right? Maybe a little bit less than that. But my point is 76% of coaches are below that mark. 88% of coaches are making less than $10,000 a month. So that means only 12% of coaches are making more than $10,000 a month. And when you look at the people making $100,000 a month, so making seven figures, it's maybe like 0.1%. And then if you look at the people making $1 million a month, it's literally like maybe a dozen people. So, the coaching industry is booming. It's a growing industry, but what we see happening again and again is that individual coaches are just getting crushed. In an industry where 76% of people aren't even making a full-time income, that means that the conventional wisdom and the way that things are being taught in our industry is 180 degrees off. Because anytime you've got a situation where people are struggling and everyone's following the same strategies and everyone's trying to do the same thing, it's just not working. So instead of following the crowd, instead of doing what everyone else is telling you to do, if you want to get into that top 1 or 2 or 3% of coaches that are really crushing it, you got to stop doing what everyone else is doing. And you got to start looking at what those people are doing. What that handful of coaches that are making over $100,000 a month, what are they doing that the other 99% are not doing? That's the question that you should be asking yourself. And that's really what we want to break down for you on this show today.
And it's really important, Russ, because too many people, like you said, conventional wisdom gives conventional results. And it's like when 76% of the people are not making money, they're pumping out content like crazy. They're trying to think of something creative to say. They're trying to figure out some kind of hook. They're trying to do all this content creation or networking, and they're still not doing it. And I've watched people do that for a decade and still not crack the code. And yet at the same time, you have people in their first year that did $1 million. First year, they did $2 million. First year, they did $500,000. So what's the difference? And that's really the main focus is successful people are doing something differently than unsuccessful people. So we're going to kind of take you back behind the curtain and show you what that is.
Yeah, and one last thing before we dive in. Guys, I want you to understand that when we talk about the success that our clients are having, again, we're not saying this to brag. Well, maybe we're saying it to brag a little bit, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose here is to inspire you. Our purpose here is to show you, to get your brain moving in the direction of what might be possible for you. Because if you're just sitting there and you've set your sights on, man, I just want to make, $4,000 or $5,000 a month as a coach. What I want to invite you to do is to set your sights so much higher than that. Because again, we've got people in relationship coaching, dating, fitness, marriage coaching, business coaching, career coaching, spiritual development coaching, personal development coaching. I mean, in every niche or market you can imagine that are doing 7 figures. We got a guy that teaches people how to do handstands that's doing $2.5 million a year, teaching people how to do handstands with a high ticket handstand program. So it's all right there for you guys. If you are willing to separate yourself from the crowd and do some of the stuff that we're about to talk about, I believe there's no limit to how fast and how far you can scale your business. All right. So the first thing that millionaire coaches are doing that other people are not, drum roll, is they have a superior strategy. They have a superior strategy. Now, what makes a good strategy? A good strategy for getting clients in the door. What makes a good strategy? Well, for me, the most important piece is simplicity. Simplicity. Now, how do we define simplicity? Because a lot of things sound simple. Hey man, just set up an Instagram account and start posting on Instagram and you'll get clients. That sounds pretty simple, but is it really? What I want to invite you to do is to take a look at how many steps are there between point A and point B. So point A is where you are right now, and point B is the income goal that you're trying to get to. How many steps are there between point A and point B? So let's just say, for example, that you're looking at the strategy of just going on Instagram and trying to make money from your Instagram. Okay. So you got to set up an Instagram. You got to start posting to that Instagram 5 or 10 times a day. What are you going to post? I don't know. But you got to start posting to Instagram. You got to follow the right people. You got to unfollow the wrong people. You got to start getting more and more followers into your account and just trying to stand out from the crowd. Now, guys, you understand that to build an Instagram properly, if you're not going to spend any money on it takes forever because there's millions and millions and millions of people on there. So everyone's trying to stand out. So whatever you're posting, it's got to be good enough to stand out and rise above the crowd. That's really tough. And then maybe you'll build together, a following. And then once you've cobbled together a following, then maybe you can start sending them offers and then maybe you'll find a way to make money. So first of all, what are the odds that that's going to work, right? Well, everyone in the world is trying to do that strategy. So the odds of it working are very, very small. Maybe 1%, let's say, maybe 2% will be generous. So you got a 2% chance of that working and a 98% chance of it failing. Okay. So that's the first question. How likely to succeed is this? The second question to ask yourself is, okay, fine. Well, how long is it going to take? If this succeeds, how long is it going to take to build your Instagram to that level? At least a year, probably, maybe 2. I mean, unless your content is just off the charts amazing and you've got something going on that nobody else on the planet does, it's going to take 6 months to a year to build that following, if not longer. So now you've got a strategy that takes forever to work. That's very unlikely that it's going to work. And then even then, we haven't even figured out how you take those followers and turn them into clients. We're just talking about getting the following in the first place. Make sense? So that's a strategy that everyone else is doing. It's one of those strategies that sounds good if you think about it for 5 seconds. But if you think about it for 5 minutes, you start to realize, wait a minute, this actually isn't that great of a strategy after all. So what you're looking for is you're looking for something simple and direct. So something that's got a high percentage chance of working, that doesn't take very long to get going, and that's simple enough for you to actually execute. So I'll just lay it out for you. The strategy that we use for our clients is ad, webinar, phone call, new client. That's it. Ad, webinar, phone call, new client. That's it. That's all we do in our business. So we run ads on Facebook and YouTube. People click those ads. They get invited to a webinar. They watch the webinar. Maybe it's a half an hour-ish, and they watch the webinar. And then at the end of the webinar, we invite them to book a phone call. They book a phone call. We get on the phone with them. And if they're a good fit, we enroll them into one of our high ticket programs. That's it. That takes people from clicking on the ad to becoming a client at a high ticket price in 24 to 48 hours. 95 probably % of our enrollments happen on that very first call. And most of the people who sign up to work with us have never even heard of us before they click that first ad. That's what I mean when I say a simple strategy that works, and it works fast. That's what you want to be looking for. And that's what separates the millionaire coaches from the people that are struggling. How good is your strategy? How likely is that strategy to succeed? Even if it does succeed, how long is it going to take? And is it simple enough for you to actually execute on it? Does that make sense?
That's such a good point, guys. And we talk about it a lot in the program, but mastery is really the journey to simplicity. And, having talked and listened to thousands and thousands of coaching calls and different people, coming along, I've heard repeatedly, it's like, I'm good on coaching. I just can't get clients. I just don't know how to get the clients on the phone. I don't know how to enroll them when I get them there. But on the coaching aspect, most coaches seem to be pretty good. What's love about this model that you're talking about, Russ, is there's only three pieces. One, you have to have a very effective, simple strategy to get people on the phone, the right people. Number two, you have to have a very simple and effective way to enroll them and have an honest conversation. And third, you need to know how to deliver a result. So that's really it. And most people spend their time trying to work on the coaching aspect, but the problem is they're not getting any coaching clients. They're not getting clients and they don't know how to enroll. And so next thing you know, that shows up in their undercharging. They're not charging their worth, which creates a domino the wrong way. It's a poverty domino that starts falling. Your spiral goes down the wrong way. So it's pretty amazing when you simplify how to get clients, where boom, every day you could have 5 qualified people on the phone that are your ideal clients. Number two is then you also have a very simplified way to go ahead and enroll them. I won't say who, Russ, but a very famous, successful sales trainer. He's talking about his 157 ways to handle objections. 157 ways to handle objections. Now, that's like the genius of you have to do 17 follow-ups to get a sale too. And we've simplified the objection sequence down into there's 3 main objections, but there's really only one. How much more effective would you be if you realize there's really only one simple objection that show up 3 different ways? That's a lot easier and simpler to master that than trying to learn some 157 different ways of, you name it. So guys, to simplify it down, you need to know how to get clients on the phone. Number 2, you need to know how to enroll them. And number 3, you need to know how to get a result. That's really the 3 areas that you want to be experts in.
Yeah, guys, 100%. So take a look at the strategy you're using. How long is it going to take for it to work? Is it going to work effectively? Do you have a way of getting new clients in the door? Are you charging premium prices? These are all things for you to think about. And if you need to start integrating a better strategy into your business, which you probably do, then let's talk. All right. So the second thing that millionaire coaches have that everyone else doesn't is they have a better relationship with money, a better relationship with money. Now, here's the interesting thing. We've worked with thousands of coaches, like I said, in every niche you could possibly imagine. People in Australia, people in Canada, people in the United States, people in Africa, people in the UK, people from all over the world, people in Germany. And here's one thing that literally all of our clients have in common, whether they're male, female, black, white, doesn't matter. Everybody has a ceiling, okay? Everybody has like a money ceiling, right? Where you're comfortable making money up to a certain point. And then when you hit that point, you freak out. Now, I know that sounds crazy because if you're just trying to make ends meet, like I was when I was first starting out, I would have thought if you told me that, that people freak out because they made $100,000 a month, I would never believe what you were saying, right? Because it's like, to me, that was all the money in the world. And it's like, if I can make $100,000 a month, believe me, man, it would solve all my problems. Well, here's the thing you don't understand is you've got a comfort zone, and attached to that comfort zone is a certain amount of money. It's a certain dollar amount that you're comfortable making every month. And when you begin to exceed that to a certain level, it's like pulling a rubber band, and you're pulling that rubber band harder and harder and harder and harder and harder as you get further and further outside of your comfort zone. And if you pull it hard enough, you can actually snap where you're going to freak out. So our biggest problem that we have with our millionaire coaches and our millionaire clients isn't getting them their first $100,000 a month, believe it or not. It's that when we get them their first $100,000 a month, a lot of the time they freak out a little bit. They freak out because think about it. Let's say you come from a family where, I don't know, let's say your mom was a teacher or something and your dad was a teacher and their parents were teachers or something like that. There's some trade that your family's practiced forever and ever. And maybe no one in your family has ever made more than $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in a year. And then you turn around, you make $100,000 in 1 month. That's going to freak you out, man, because it's so outside of your normal experience of what's familiar to you. So part of the work that we have to do at Clients on Demand is we have to do a lot of mindset work with our clients, not because they're not succeeding, but because they are succeeding. And because people sabotage, and you see this with celebrities a lot, man. You see this, Mark. You see like people like, I remember Chris Farley, was like the top of his success and just completely melted down and sabotage. Kurt Cobain, all these, a lot of these people, just enjoy massive wealth and success, and then when they finally get there, they just can't handle it. We're not even talking about becoming an international superstar. We're just talking about making $100,000 a month. But even that, it can be a lot. It can be a lot for people. So part of what needs to happen if you want to get to that $1 million a year mark or $1 million a month mark is that you have to transform your relationship with money, where you become comfortable with the idea of having lots of money, and you become comfortable with the idea that you deserve it, that you're not, doing something wrong by having money, by being successful. And a big part of that is the impact that you're making. So one of the things that I think, Mark, engenders guilt in some of the coaches that we've seen, especially in our competitors, is that they're selling information and they're not selling transformation. So in other words, they might be selling a book or something, and people read the book or the ebook or the video course and they like it. They go, oh, this was really interesting, but they don't actually do anything with it. It doesn't change their life. It doesn't create a real result for them. And so no one actually gets anywhere. And this is where I was when I first started my business. I was putting out good stuff, but it was a low ticket price. And it wasn't transformational coaching. It was just information. And so people would go and they would consume these ebooks or they would consume these video courses and they would enjoy what they consumed, but they didn't actually change anything. And over time, that started to bother me. And that's what made us shift into this high ticket model, where now we're actually focusing on getting people those results. And when you are making money, a lot of money, but you can look back on dozens of people or hundreds of people whose lives you have changed, you're going to feel a lot better about that money that you're making. On the other hand, if you're making money, but you're looking back and you're like, man, nobody's really getting results. Nobody's really getting anywhere. My clients aren't really taking action. They're signing up for my stuff, but they're not really doing anything. That's an awful, awful feeling. And hopefully that feeling impels you to play a bigger game and to focus more on getting a transformational result for your clients. So a big part of this comfort or discomfort with money is what kind of impact are you making in the world?
And that's the key word, Russ, is impact. Because the ones that I can imagine, I've seen, when people chase money, they're going to chase money. But when you chase service, the money will chase you. And one of the things that I've noticed, I can think of two people that came through and they were so gung-ho about, one was really gung-ho about the money, and she started melting down when she got to about $40,000 a month, because again, she was chasing money. And again, once you have it, you're going to find out if that's all you're going after, you're going to find out it's a very shallow victory. It's a hollow victory. And then the other person got to $100,000 a month and was melting down because she was not changing her relationship with money. She still had all of her belief systems about money is the root of all evil. People will judge me. My clients are going to think I'm superficial. And so what happened, she eventually imploded. And like you said, that rubber band analogy, where it will break. And if you don't have a good relationship with money and you're not aware of how to change it, you're in trouble. And that keeps most people from even really starting. So it's sad and it breaks my heart, because when you realize that money is a reflection of how many people you're helping, those people aren't getting help because of your relationship with money. And if you fix your relationship with money, it's simply a multiplier. It's an amplifier. And when you're doing it the right way, help more people, you deserve every dime. Now, if you're not helping people, you aren't going to get paid. That's just the way that it works. So make sure that you make it a priority. Changing your relationship with money is a game changer. And too many people do the rote actions about building a business. They try and do it and they can't find that success because deep down, they think that money makes them shallow. They're going to get judged, that they are going to have to pay too much in taxes, that, oh, money doesn't grow on trees and money's the root of all evil. And all those stories that you've been indoctrinated with, that will eventually pull you back into the poverty zone.
Yeah. And so guys, a big part of your success journey needs to be having the sort of coaching that's going to help you overcome not just your strategic problems where you're getting the right strategy involved, but also your mindset stuff and those hangups. And that brings me to the third thing that separates the millionaire coaches from everyone else, and it's that they get better support. So all of the millionaire coaches that we've developed and that we've worked with, none of them had this belief that I can figure it out on my own. None of them had that belief, because you can't. There's too much. I mean, I guess you can figure it out on your own if you're willing to spend 10 years to do it. You know, it could be even something like Facebook ads. How much money would you burn on Facebook ads before you actually have something profitable? You know, there's so many little settings and campaign settings and bidding settings and audience settings and all kinds of just different. It's a nightmare. Just Facebook ads itself is so difficult. It's impossible to figure out unless you have someone there showing you how to do it. It's the same thing with landing pages and webinars. And I haven't even mentioned the tech stuff, just setting all this stuff up. So can you figure this stuff out through trial and error? Yeah, probably. If you're willing to sacrifice hundreds of thousands of dollars and years and years and years of your time, if you're ever even able to get there, or you can go out there and get the best support in the world and go out there and learn from people that have already done this. And that's the biggest shortcut. I mean, that's the main thing, guys, because the other two things we've mentioned, having a better strategy and having a better relationship with money, if you have the right support, it's going to take care of both of those things. You don't have to worry about the strategy because your mentor is going to give it to you. And you don't have to worry about your relationship with money because your mentor will coach you on the mindset that you need to make a lot of it. So understand, guys, that all of these people that are building their businesses to millions of dollars, they went out there and they took the ultimate shortcut, which is to find somebody who's getting extraordinary results and whose clients are getting extraordinary results and work with them and follow everything they tell you to do. Because otherwise, this stuff can take forever if it even works at all.
And Russ, you remind me of one of my favorite clients that we've had. And she came out, she was a single mom coming out of a very rough divorce, coming out of a lifestyle and a lifetime of poverty. Her family was not wealthy. Her relationship was not wealthy. She had a ton of hangups about money. And getting her funnel built was relatively easy. Getting her success and getting clients was relatively easy. But the biggest challenge with her was getting her over her relationship with money. She had a very bad relationship with money and belief system. And I remember one of the challenges she got was to go spend $100 on yourself. Now, this was after she was doing, I think, $20,000, $40,000 a month, somewhere in that range. Just spending $100 on herself, like for a pedicure or some clothes or something, something small. She got to about $20 and started choking up and started having an anxiety attack because it was like, oh my God, I'm wasting money. Oh my God. And those beliefs were so much, but luckily the coaching, we were able to coach her through it. And 2 years ago, that same woman donated $100,000 to charity. 2 years ago. She went from not being able to spend $100 on herself to donating $100,000 in charity. And last year she bought her dream home. And today she makes well over $2.5 million a year. And had we not focused and had the skill, like you point out, if we didn't know how to address and change her relationship with money, she would not be where she is. And those key pieces, when you have the right support, it's critical. And this is another one which I want to throw in there, that if you hang out with a group where making $100,000 by serving clients out of their pain is normal, you're going to be the sixth person. If you hang out with 5 people that are all broke, you're going to be the sixth person and you'll be broke. And so it's really critical. That peer group is absolutely a game changer. And I never realized how important it was because I was always trying to do it myself too. But now that I can sit back and we can look at the group that's there, the support, the world-class coaching, those are game changers. And it's so much fun watching people do it the right way and actually have impact, freedom, and income.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. So guys, listen, it doesn't have to, you decide how long things are going to take. If you are not leveraging the kind of support that we're talking about that can actually help you make those changes that you need to make, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And I would even say, if someone's like, hey, Russ, I'm thinking about starting a coaching business, but I'm probably just going to watch some YouTube videos and, I don't know, read some articles online, and I'll probably just, I'll figure out how to do it. I'm smart. If somebody comes to me and tells me that, I'm literally like, dude, don't quit your job. Don't even start. Don't even try to become a coach. I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm really good at this stuff. And I had to spend a lot of money on coaching and mentoring to get to where I am today. I mean, and unless you are some absolute off the charts prodigy, which I've actually never met, you're going to have to try to you're going to have to go and get the support that you need so that you don't have to figure this out from scratch. Make sense? So if that's what you guys want, then here's what we have for you. I want to invite you guys to book a call to talk to us. You can go to clientsondemand.com/talk and book an appointment to speak to us. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes and we'll get you clear on a few things. Number 1, the exact price you should be charging for your work. Number 2, who are those dream customers that you dream of working with? Number 3, where can you find them? And number 4, what's the best strategy? What's your best next steps to begin to reach those people and enroll them at a high ticket price? So there's no charge for this call. It's absolutely free. Just go to clientsondemand.com/talk. When you go to that page, you're going to see our calendar. There's going to be a bunch of available appointment times. Pick whichever appointment time works for you, and we will call you at the time that you chose. We'll put our heads together and we'll do some really, really great work on that call. Mark, any parting shots for us, man?
Yeah, it's kind of what you said, Russ. And guys, I just want to throw this out there. If you surf our page and scroll down on the page, you're going to see honest testimonial after testimonial about people that tried to do it their way. 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, trying to do it their way, never found success. Then joined COD. They did that call. They got on there and found out what they were missing. Next thing you know, next month, first $10,000 month, 2 months later, $20,000 month. And again, they knew the difference when they got on here. So, but again, doing it yourself is a recipe for a very painful learning journey. When people invest in themselves to go ahead and get the help, they get better results in less time. And nothing breaks my heart more than watching people trying to wing it and do it themselves. Because again, at the end of the day, your clients aren't getting served. You're not making the money and you're struggling and suffering yourself. So do the call. Let's find out if we can help. Again, our team knows very much, who this will work for, who it doesn't. If something's better, we'll steer you to that. We're doing just fine. And we're looking for people that want to have a real impact and help change the world and get rich doing it. So do the call. It's a game changer and you're going to have a whole lot of fun on there as well.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Head to clientsondemand.com/talk. I'm Russ Rufino. This is Mark Von Muser, and we will catch you guys on the next show. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you guys want to subscribe, there's a little picture of me. You can click that button right over there. If you want to book a breakthrough session with our team, which you absolutely should do, then you can click that button there or go to clientsondemand.com/talk to book an appointment to speak to us. We'll go ahead and catch you on the next show. Bye-bye.